afternoon, good evening, good morning, folks. It's your man, always George Page, aka the Emperor of Female About Me Talk, coming to you live on YouTube, folks. It's the weekend. Seems like I don't know, folks. Time is flying by. I think we have one more week left of summer. It's getting a little cooler out there. I know I was out today. I had to go to a doctor's appointment. On my way back, I saw this thing where you have like a little monitor. It says it was 82 degrees, and it was like around about a little after 12. So usually sometimes around about 12, we like 105. But it's starting to get cooler. A lot of cooler. So I hope y'all folks are doing well, and I hope you enjoy this upcoming weekend. We have some big shows coming up. I will talk about some next go around, and also wish the best luck to the competitors, especially ladies I know. So, folks, we have here a lovely lady. I recently started following her. I saw one of her, is what IG like to do, because since I do a lot of content on women's bodybuilding and stuff like that, they always pop the little thing in your algorithm and say, "Oh, look at this person." She, yeah. I say, who is this? Wow. I said, okay. And I reached out to her, and she's interested. Was very apropos about doing an interview. We have here the lovely Mrs. Amanda Ridlehoover. That's it, Ridlehoover.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ridlehoover. There's one D.
Ridlehoover. Okay. I was sometimes I'm from the South, man. Sometimes we spell it how we see it.
Everyone does it.
Yeah. So Amanda Ridlehoover. She is an amateur competitor. She just recently competed at the North Americans about a couple of weeks ago. Wow, can't believe it's already that time's fly. She competes in the figure division. She's also former United States military service person. And anybody who I get to interview with who served our country, I don't say thank you for your service, madam. I say, as a citizen, I appreciate the sacrifice you made for this behalf of this country. Now, we're going to talk to her about her story of how she got started and her plans. Now, there's a few more shows left for pro qualification. There's there's the amateurs in Las Vegas, which is going to be next about another 3 weeks at the Olympia. Also, there's the Nationals, and I think there's another show too. So, welcome, ma'am, and thank you for your time.
Thank you, and thank you for your support for the military. I really appreciate it.
Well, my oldest niece and one of my nephews were in there. They're in the Army, and we love them. We take care of them. They're doing fine now. My mom was always worried about my nephew because he was over in Afghanistan, and she was always praying for him every night so he'd come back home. He did come back home and just celebrate his 10th kid.
I think one's hard.
Well, I had an uncle. He had 21 head, 3 wives and a couple of baby mamas.
Boy.
So anyway, Amanda, we're going to share her story and how got her started in bodybuilding. So, ma'am, as I often ask you ladies, what got you started in sports? I call it muscle and masculinity. Please share.
Muscle and masculinity. So when I did get out of the Army, I stayed in an Army town. I was a former military wife as well. My ex-husband was in the Army, so I stayed there. And I found this like local gym. I used to be 250 pounds. A fact. Like it wasn't muscle. After the Army, I kind of blew up. It's one of those things. I don't have to be up anymore. I don't have to be up doing PT. I didn't have to have a stand. There was no standard. I just kind of let myself go. Stepped on the scale. It was 249. I was like, why hasn't anyone told me I'm this big? That's why I ended up finding this gym, and I saw this girl who looked like a bodybuilder. Like this tall, 5 foot, just this stout looking thing. And walked up to her. I was like, how'd you do that? I want to look like that. And I actually got into powerlifting for a little bit and did a bunch of stuff out there and just kind of wanted to be like not the one. There was some unfortunate things that did happen to me in the Army. When it comes to that great statistic of sexual harassment and sexual abuse in the Army with female soldiers. So I just kind of want to look like not the one anymore. Like I'm not the one. I'm not the one to mess with. But no, I really thought I was going to power lift for a long time. This gym had bodybuilders on the wall. I knew I wanted it. I just didn't have guidance. Moved back home to Alabama and just kind of self-taught. I did just my own thing to the best of my knowledge. Never knew who to reach out to for help. It was back in 2000, it was like 16. So like it really, bodybuilding hadn't really taken off on social media yet. Like fitness and this whole fitness industry hadn't like, it isn't what it is now. I mean, now like everyone wants to be a bodybuilder. It's not taboo anymore. It's not like, everyone wants to do it. Everyone wants a piece of that glam. Um, and then I ended up meeting my husband, and he was a competitive bodybuilder, and it was funny. I was like, I want to do that. Can you help me do that? Like, no one's ever helped me. No one's tried to help me. I've never known who to reach out to actually achieve this look I've always dreamed of. And he was like, yeah, I'll prep you for a show. Sure. You think you can do it? And I did, and actually I fell in love with it, and I realized actually I'm really good at this. I can do it. I never thought I was like a subpar athlete. Like I was a good swimmer. I was a good cheerleader. I was like, I can be a great bodybuilder. Um, and again, just I love the look. And they're not masculine, I guess, but just like powerful. Like I got a Wonder Woman tattoo for a reason. Um, I mean, she's my favorite, but at the same time, like I want to walk around looking like a superhero at all times. And again, walking down the street, I like I still want someone to be like, that's probably not the best one to try today. Um, and that was like my goal in the beginning, just to look like not the one to mess with, because I was a little string bean in the army. It was a little thing.
Well, I was never a little thing. Maybe when I was younger, I could tell you about I when I got to high school, I was maybe about 240, 250 because I'm a big country boy. But then you get into the real world where you don't have that activity like you have when you're younger. I used to play football in high school, lift weights.
Yeah.
That kept you busy. You get in the real world where you don't have a lot of time in the world. You don't have motivation or the discipline as much. That's one big part about bodybuilding. You need the discipline to focus on that. And then also, my situation was that my mother got sick, and
Oh,
I was taking care of her for the last 5 or 6 years. And because of that was a lot of stress and responsibility, so I found food as a comfort. You know, and I've talked to quite a few ladies who told me about the issues of abuse and stuff like that. Because here's the thing: is I remember I was watching this cowboy movie, and I remember how the guy says that only thing you should hit one with is something between your legs, and
I
that's it. I mean, I can.
mean,
My mother, she went through it, and my sister went through it, but I can never understand why anybody want to abuse women. Sometimes women, y'all make us mad,
oh
but
man,
then sometimes as men, we have to take a breath and stand back and say, you know what? We just have to understand each other. Here we have shout out to my man KL coming through. He says, Shai said this says solutions, or I think I say salute. And also he said this, he says, what that Wonder Woman tattoo you can tie me up with the lasso of truth. Oh my God.
oh
He
boy.
he does content. He my man. He's a good dude. Sometimes we do lives together, stuff like that. He's a fan of women of muscle, not as much as a sport, but he's a good dude. He's a good dude. And he should know better. But I shouldn't have showed it. That's not my fault. But yeah. But anyway, so you got inspired. You met your husband, and what's your husband's name? And he also a bodybuilder too?
Yeah, he's a competitive bodybuilder and also my coach. We met in the gym, of course. We actually stared at each other for like months before either one of us got the courage to be like, hi.
Oh,
So my name is Amanda.
hi, I'm Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, exactly. But no, I mean, it just kind of took off from there. Became incredibly inseparable after that. It was just kind of, I mean, I didn't know the way to explain it. It was a really magical thing, and I trusted him completely when it came to telling me what to do in prep, and I'd never done it before. And we did it. We won. I won my first show. I won the overall in my first show I ever did. So we just kind of took it off from there, and it's worked ever since. I've kind of helped him along the way because he can self coach as well. He's prepped himself for shows, and I don't know how he does it because I couldn't do it. And he's done all that. He's also a master plumber, so he's been doing all that while he helps his daddy run his business.
That's pretty good. I mean, and I think one thing is some people it's hard to be your own coach because sometimes you might miss some things that's why some competitors will have a coach because they might see something that they might miss, and then the extra eye. And it's good that he's helping you out in your
Hmm.
process. I know quite a few couples have coached one another. I just recently had interviews with the Fashones. Shout out to John and Sherry. They just competed also they were at the Masters World Championships. They both made their debuts there together.
Oh
And
wow.
yeah, yeah, she got a pro card year before. He got a pro card at the a few months before that. And it's good to have a relationship. Especially both being in bodybuilding, because bodybuilding, it can, especially you got to think about it. If you're both doing the show and
Oh,
you're
it's
on prep,
selfish. It's selfish.
and you're on prep, and there's those hanger, like you look at what you looking for? You
Why
like,
are you breathing like that?
yeah. Say what you say? Who ate the last of the oatmeal? I mean, who ate the eggs? What?
Listen, like, why didn't you cook turkey when you know I needed some? Why did you eat all of it? But it
Well,
works. I mean, it's an incredible thing. And he's had, he's blessed with some friends that do have, because, when you are in that, like, the shit of prep, like, your objective eye disappears. You look like shit no matter what in your eyes. Like, I don't look good enough. I don't look good enough. I'm not there. So, I mean, he is blessed with some people in his life that can, tell him, you know, what to do in certain parts. But he's, I mean, he's really good at it too. He's really level headed. We did a whole prep together once. Our shows were a week apart, and it was easier than we thought it would be, just because we both got it. We both understood. Like, you're hungry, I'm hungry. You're on drugs, I'm on drugs. We're both not us. So because you're going into it, obviously you're going to be nervous because you do get to that point where it's just like you don't want to talk to anyone, you don't want anyone touching you. You're just mad at everything. But it was actually a breeze for the most part. Like, you have your ups and downs and stuff, but I mean, it worked out fine for both of us. We're probably going to do it again next year. He's taking some time off, but the ultimate goal would be great if we could compete together again, and see what we can do.
so you're gonna take the rest of this year off, and then maybe try to shoot for another show for, because you are regionally qualified. Means that means that you're nationally qualified. So that means that you can do like there's quite a few national qualifications. Like
Yeah. So what my idea is because, like, I'm really sick of getting outsized. This will be my third national show that I've gotten outsized on. And that's why I've lost. That's what the judges told me why I lost, or that's always my critique. Denser. Just get denser, get denser, get denser. So ideally there's a show here in November that I kind of want to gear towards next year. Grab a qualification, walk in there and collect. And then run it back at a national show in 2027, because I want to be the biggest one this time. I want to be the one that outsides everybody. Like, it's just, I'm so sick of getting beat by bigger people. I can't do it. I'm gonna be that one that's, I outsized you and you and you and you and you.
yeah,
So I want to
that's
be the disappointment that walks in.
that's the thing about bodybuilding. There's a lot of I think some people talk about there's a lot of issue with body dysmorphia because you want to be the biggest competitor, and then you come in here and you may have a great physique. Great. I've seen she's seen some pictures, guys. She does have a great physique, and you know, it's just hard to bring in that certain look. Is like I talk about this how when bodybuilding first started, especially for women, the women back then they had a great look to them. They actually look more like the fit model girls today. Back in the 80s and also a good part of the 90s, it kind of evolved a little more. And then, I would think everything kind of changed around the 2000s. I've been following bodybuilding for a long time. I've seen how the guys change and how the women have changed. I mean,
Hmm.
one thing I might think about is about the women. I gotta admit my crown, Amanda. I'm a muscle Perry Smo. Y'all ladies excite me. I don't
It's
know some.
incredible. I mean, it really is. Like, women's physique's my husband's favorite division. He thinks they work harder than men bodybuilders. He thinks they come in more conditioned every time. He thinks it's a beautiful division. And it's his favorite. Like, his favorite bodybuilder is Sarah Villegas, other than me. You know, and if you do paying attention, like, they do come in more conditioned than the open men every time. I mean, they're peeled out of their minds. and he's in that camp as they work 10 times harder because they have to. I mean, to achieve like like maturity like that and density and that bubbly pop as well as grainy, you got to put yourself through the ringer. Unless you just have superior genetics, which most bodybuilders do, there's still a lot of work behind it.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's his favorite division.
Yeah, well, I'm more a fan of women's bodybuilding. I love the look of it, the development, the size. They have that great, they have the more bubbly muscle, the
Mhm.
detail. Uh, some amazing ladies who I follow on social media. I was at Tampa just a while back, last month, and I went to the Tampa Bay Pro. My friend, I got to always shout her out anytime I do my live stream. I got to shout my friend Eunice of Bad Rap. I got to put on my hat for a second. She gave it to me as a gift. This is from Bad Rap. That's
Aw,
bad, big and defined, ripped and pumped, and we like the rip part. And you know, I ran into quite a few ladies there. Some ladies who like I follow on social media. Some ladies I've done interviews with. Notably, people like two of the top three women in each of the women's bodybuilding ring physique division, both Sharonica Hinton and Ashley Jones.
oh,
Uh,
nice.
yeah, I saw Rachel Daniels. Actually, I was wearing my Superman shirt that day. She's walking down and said, "Hey, real Lois Lane, Superman." We just did a little little thing, and
She a
people like,
unit.
yeah, great. I think she could do women's bodybuilding. I mean,
I
she's
think
got
she
that.
should.
She
I think
should.
she should.
She should. I mean, look at someone like Angela Yo, who was when she got a pro call was a physique. Then she switched over and then what she did now. But one person, and guys, you know who I am talking about. I can't help talk about her. She's my girlfriend. I always like to talk about her because she's so beautiful. She's so amazing. That is a lovely Mrs. Andrea Shaw.
I love her.
I love what you what this is one thing, and I know my man KL, you're a hater. You hate this when I bring this out because you know what? To quote my other guy, if you get it something, never do it for free. And I often say this is what one of my payments. My friend Eunice, she was at the Olympia back in 2023, and she ran into Andrea. She got me this issue. It was like she sent it to me just a little bit after my birthday. This is the last publication by most of them. I got some bunch of them when I used to collect when I was younger with my comic books. The last print publication of Muscle Development, and she's on the cover. And what makes it so special, not only that, the fact she's on the cover, that she took the time out and she signed it.
That's so cool. And wrote you a note.
She wrote me a love note. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm calming myself down. I think she's amazing. But,
I do too.
yeah. So, but what was that experience like that first time for you as a competitor?
Oh, it was incredible. I will fully admit that once that happened, like I kind of went almost into a mindset of getting into bodybuilding for the stage only because the glam was just so cool to me and the hype behind all of it was just almost surreal. Like it's all about you. You're especially with the females. We're a princess for a day. Our hair is getting done, our makeup's getting done. Everyone's doting on you. Let me get you this. Let me get you that. And after that year, it was like all I could think about was stage and not actual bodybuilding, if that makes sense. Um, and which was a very negative, toxic thing, to be honest with you. Because I truly believe you can see a difference on stage for the bodybuilders that compete for the stage or the bodybuilders that bodybuild for the gym in progress and the love of the game and the love of the sport. Uh, so I mean, actually, it was weird. Honestly, I had that next year. It was kind of up and down, and if I wanted to do it because like body dysmorphia kicked in. I was no longer lean. I'm a huge foodie. I love food, like a lot.
Doesn't Who
And
doesn't? I'm a
like
fat
I
guy. I
said,
love food too.
I'd say it's almost known. Like Amanda gets quite chunky in her off seasons. And I'm always losing like 50 to 60 pounds for a prep as well. I, I can't help it. But I mean, it was surreal. It was fun. I kind of lost sight of what it was about, what it should have been about. But luckily, I do have my husband and who he is, and his biggest inspirations like Jordan Peters, and guys like that, and that training style. And I started to really, really dive into that with him on like training with intent. I reached out to Sarah Villegas at one point and just kind of picked her brain on stuff, and she was like, "Just make sure you always train with intent." Like have a purpose when you go into the gym. And that like really struck a chord. And so I started looking at bodybuilding more as the progress in the gym, the love of the game, the love of getting better versus just that 15 seconds of fame on stage that all these newer bodybuilders are jumping on, because they see the clout on social media, they see the glamour, but they don't know that, 80% of the time you don't look like that. Like this, and you're not hyped up at all times, because no one cares when you're in the off season. And that's like the majority of the year. No one cares when you're fat, and no one cares like when you're not competing. Um, and so I've started to try and fall in love with that part versus the stage. And I have, to where training's everything to me. And then the stage is just a part of it. That's just to showcase if I'm ready to showcase. But I mean, it took a minute. I'm not gonna lie. I had like I had toxic feelings about bodybuilding. I competed in USA's in 2022. I've never really disagreed with a loss until that one for me. It didn't make sense. And I kind of was like, fuck this sport. Like, that was political.
Fuck the
Um,
world.
yeah, I was like, I'm not doing this shit no more. Like, if this is how this is going, I'm not doing it anymore. But it did take a minute. Yeah, I've had my ups and downs within this industry. And I ended up I competed in 2023 at Junior USA's, and I came in second. I've been one spot away from my pro card so many times. Um, but she was incredible. The girl who beat me was incredible. They put us through the ringer on stage. I mean, we were posed forever. I came off sweating. I was like, where's this water coming from? Um, and I took that one fine. She deserved it. She's great. Tracy Jones. I don't know if you know who she is. She's
I
really
I think I know heard of her. I think she's one of Rachel's clients. I
she
know
is.
also a friend of mine. He did an interview with her a while back. She lives in I think in Kentucky, I believe.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Sweet as can be. I couldn't even be mad at her for beating me. She's so sweet, just a doll. So, but yeah, just again the ups and downs. I ended up taking 2024 off completely. I stepped away. I trained intuitively. I ate intuitively, and I think that freed up my brain, and let me fall back in love with the sport again, and to do it for me and not for anyone else. Because like I think us as bodybuilders create this like external pressure that's not real, and we make up things that like I thought people expected A, B, and C from me. Like they wanted to see me in the gym perfectly executing things at all the time, or perfectly executing my diet at all times, and just being this like role model almost, just because of things I would hear. Man, if people are watching you and they look up to you, so it was like this pressure happened. Um, and so yeah, taking off and like just not really caring and just doing my own thing in the gym and training for me and therapy. It was my therapy. Just made me fall back in love with it, and I wanted to get back after it again. And here we are now. We did this prep, competed in Nashville, and then ran to North Americans, and it kind of just opened my not opened my eyes, but I fell back in love with the sport again for what I truly believe it's about. Because I don't believe it's about the stage. Because that's just such a short. It goes by like that. Like you get there, you do it, and then all of a sudden you're done. And you're like, what do I do now? A lot of people do, especially a lot of new competitors, like, well, what do I do now? And they slowly start watching their bodies change. And it's not even really slow, it happens quick. That stage look does not last long, um, at all. So again, I am so happy, but just I fell in love with the game and just getting better and challenging myself every day. And whether it's one more rep in the gym or my form is better that day, I'm more focused. Like I have like little micro goals versus like I moved this weight this week and that weight this week. It's did I perform this better? Did I nail all my boxes this week or today? Did I get my water in? It's just little things like that just to be a better me. Um, but yeah, it's about, training. Training's everything, in my opinion. That's just me. But I love I train like a guy. I model after my husband, which he models after Jordan Peters and Corin and that whole group in Europe. And so it's just, but it's fun. I don't care if people look at me weird. I don't care if they're like, she's loud. Why is she so intense with it? it's what gets the job done. That's why I look cool and you're soft. Like when people are judging me like that. Um, so it's I don't know. It's different. I guess everyone does look at it in a different way, I guess. And I'm sure a lot of people disagree with me about bodybuilding not being for the stage. That's how they make money. But it's just so much deeper than that.
Well,
If you
truthfully,
love it,
yeah,
I
that's the thing.
guess.
You have to love the process because there's so much to it. The time you have to put into training, the dieting, the being consistent, being disciplined, motivation. I know one lady told me that motivation, that bitch went out the window for a long time ago.
What is motivation's fake to me. I've gotten arguments with people like that. Like, I don't believe in motivation. Like it's discipline all day. Or
Yeah,
just, you have to love it. And like people who don't really understand bodybuilding, like I don't know how you do it. I'm like, you have to love it to be good at it. You have to love the suffering. You have to thrive in the suffering, and then the suffering is dieting with nothing in your system. And there's also diet, the other side of it when you're heavy and you don't look cool anymore. Like that's suffering too. That's a mental suffer almost. And
yeah.
you're having to go through that and you have to love every aspect of it to actually be good and to stay disciplined. Because if you don't love it, you're not going to stay disciplined and you're going to try and reach your motivation, which doesn't exist. It's such short lived. Like, why do you need some external force to motivate you? You should want to do it for yourself anyway.
That's the thing with some people, they don't think like that. They think it's easy like this. Like I have conversations with ladies and also a few guys that tell me that, George, they tell me like this. People be looking at me because I do this because I love doing it. I don't do it because I want to impress you. I do it because I'm trying to impress myself. I want to see how far I grow and how far I can go in this sport. And then there's always the people on the outside who look like it's like, well, all you gotta take is some magic pills and you look like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
No, 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 no. Those are just that small part of the sport. Everything else is sticking to your diet, being consistent on your in your working out, being persistent. When some days where you get up in the morning, oh, I don't want to do this.
Success.
Your bed is talking to you because I remember when I came back from I fixed my bed up before I left for my trip, and I came back to my bed is my lover. Yeah, had it all nice and done up real nice, and just jumped in and say, "I miss you." But that's the thing is, you have to fight those temptations and focus on what you want out of this sport for yourself. We have here, shout out to my man KL. He says, "What division are you competing in?"
Figure. That's the one I have fallen in love with for sure.
Yeah, the high heels.
I mean, the power behind those heels is quite remarkable. I will say so myself. 'Cause I mean, I was sold and married to women's physique 'cause I loved like the front double. I loved all those poses. I thought they were so neat. Um, I had reached out to a pro just again to pick brains and asked her what she thought where I belonged. She was like, "Why don't you try figure? Like, go for it. Why not? And what's stopping you?" I was like, "You know what? You're right. I'm gonna try it." And I love it. My husband will disagree because he loves women's physique. But I mean, it's just there's a power. There's a power look behind figure that I have fallen in love with. I have fallen in love with those like model poses and just the presentation itself on stage. Low key hate doing routines that the women's physique girls have to do. Gonna get that out there. That stresses me out. I don't like it. And every time I've ever done it, I'm like, what do I do? I'm not artistic. I don't know how to do this. Um, but no, figure is I'm so married to it now. I absolutely love it. I love the look. And and that's a kind of a look that you can like almost carry with you for longer than a bodybuilding career, in my opinion. Especially with just where women's physique is going and where I envision it. Like if you push too hard, you can't really turn back.
Mm-hmm.
Something as far as gear goes. And women's figure, just again, this is all my opinion. Um, you can sustain and carry a look like that for a really long time without having to, push a bunch of gear or like eat a bunch of food to maintain the size. You know what I'm saying? Again, it's just beautiful to me,
Yeah.
and you can keep it for
Yeah.
a while.
Well, here's the comment from again from my man. He says, "What's your height?"
5'6".
5'6". That's pretty good. I mean, it's not too tall, but not too short. I think,
Usually most stacked class too, because like 5'6" is like the average height for most women,
yeah. Actually, if they say it's like
I
5'4"
think.
to 5'5", that's I believe that's the
Oh,
average
really?
height for a woman. Because I think it's the average height for a man between something between 5'7" to 5'8". Anything after that is like you know,
Amazon. You're
yeah,
tall. You're a
yeah,
giant.
really tall. I mean, I think one thing with women who are taller, it's a lot harder to put on the muscle, because you're so
Agreed.
leaner. But we come to like women who are shorter, you see that you can really pack it on just right. Like I think Andrea, she's like about 5'5". I know Angelo, yours about 5'3", and I think Rachel's like at least about 5 feet.
Oh, she's
Yeah,
short. Oh, well, I didn't know that.
at least about 5'2", 5'3", maybe, because I know I'm 5'7". I walked right past her. We were talking a little bit. You know, I've seen, like I said, I know one lady I met there. I interviewed. Her name is Angela. Angela Minori. Angela's like about 5'9", 5'8". She's a tall woman. She's a tall woman. So, folks, while we get Amanda here, what we're gonna do is this. And I do this. We want to check her out and follow her. Her links in the description of this live. Guys, reach out and genuine interests. But gentlemen, I want to tell you something. This is no offense to her. I do this because you guys out there, she's an attractive lady. She's a wife. She's a mother. I know you guys, you get sight of these ladies with these big pump muscles, but be respectful. Don't be that weird guy. No D-pics. Stop it. Get some help. We don't want her husband come knocking on the door. Who's in this shit to my wife? Who's in this shit to my wife? You say, So, guys, just be just be nice. Be cool, guys. Be cool. So we jump here in social media for a bit, and you want to follow the links in the description of this slide. And here she is. And this was at the North Americas, right? This is your husband right there taking pictures.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
We
Yeah,
had photos taken of us. So we had a photographer taking pictures of him posing me.
that's pretty cool. Oh, the kids.
And my lack
Oh,
of glutes.
we got glutes that are very tight glutes. You can bounce a quarter off of them.
That's my biggest goal this off season. I'm going to grow them.
Yeah. So, would you ever think about if you could do if you look at some of the girls at wellness, that those girls are some of them at the almost.
I don't know. Like, I don't know how they do it. I don't know how they keep everything small. But I mean, again, they're getting yoked. I have a dear friend. I don't know. You might know who she is, Callie. Um, she lives here in Alabama. I don't know why her last name.
Well, if
She's
you can't,
yoked. I mean, she was wellness and she's transitioning into physique.
well, if you can't,
Um,
send them information I can have on for any of you. Is she a pro or is she still in the NPC?
she's still in the NPC. She did USA's this year. She's an absolute powerhouse. I have huge respect for her. She's a great person. Former military as well. I think she got told she was too big for wellness, but if you look at the pros, they're all yoked too.
Yeah.
I think that's just something. I think you got to be shorter for that division. To be honest with you.
Yeah, I have a friend. Her name is Jada. She became pro and went physique about back in 2019. She competed in physique for a good bit. Then she did women's bodybuilding for a good minute, and now she's doing wellness. She's kind of
Whoa!
tall.
What a switch.
She's kind of tall. I think it looks like she's doing all right, but I think because of her height, I don't know. It might be that with wellness, you have to have those good, strong. I would say this is how we think it's those true good strong Afro aesthetics. You have to have a good roundness in the glutes. You have to have that, good full size. You have to have that most definitely. You have to have the big legs, for that division.
Mhm.
Compared to if you look at your ladies in figure or look at physique, you
Carry
have to be
X
like,
frames.
yeah, you have to border between a bit of bikini and a bit of women's bodybuilding.
We met a girl at sorry, North Americans, or my husband met her at the gas booth, and she was women's bodybuilding, and she's NPC. She's going into women's wellness too, and I'm like, that's incredible. It was such a jump to me. But no, I mean, And so I've never, ever, ever thought about competing in wellness. That this just not something, a place where my heart's at. I love figure. I love that perfect X frame of symmetry and balance. Um, and it's just something I like to work towards. I love to work my upper body, especially my back. So, I just don't, I don't want to do all those leg days a week. I've done it because I needed to bring my legs up. And I've done 3 leg days a week just so I could balance everything out. So it's tough. I mean, those wellness girlies are tough. Like putting there because leg days are draining, and you're doing them all the time.
Yeah.
And
Like
it's different. That's a different beast. And I've grown a lot of respect for wellness in bikini, especially in this last year or 2 years. And because there's two of the biggest divisions too. The competition's so steep.
yeah, I think this
And
year I know next year they're going to change, bringing in the point systems because so many divisions, especially so many competitors, most definitely
mm,
wellness and bikini, men's classic, and
fit
men's elite.
model.
Yeah, fit model. It's not on the list just yet because it's still a brand new division. I think they're
Yeah,
going to hold off before they make any
I hope
decision on
so.
that one. As you know, fit model. Ha, pwah! I'm not a fan of it. I've
I'm
never.
not a fan of it either. I'm not. I think it's a money grab. And they read that excuse that I heard like a couple of times is, well, it's the most entry level, for someone who wants to get into it. Well, that's what we have True Novice for. And the novice categories within the NPC, that's the most entry level is competing as a true novice and
Mhm.
trying to find your footing. You don't need to add this subpar category just for your average female that wants to be a bodybuilder, but they're like, no muscles. We don't want to see any muscle, but you're a
But the,
bodybuilder,
but the
you
thing
know?
problem is, it's not going to last like that too long
They're going to
because
get bigger. They're going to get
yeah,
bigger.
yeah, who's this here? This is your boy when he was a
That's when
baby.
he was a baby. He turns 13 this year.
He's gonna be a man. Remember, beat him down, but don't let him get too much
Mm,
control. Well, he looked too bad back then either. Wow, yeah.
what a
I know.
chunk. What are you talking about?
Oh no, hey, I'm from the man. Like you, I'm from the South. I'm a brother from the South. We like our thick women too. You know, and here he is. He's this your boy. You should be proud. And
He's so
what's his
sweet.
name? And what's his thing about his
J-
mom being a muscle mommy?
yeah, his name's Jason. It's so funny. He looked at me one day. He goes, "Hey, I don't want to be a bodybuilder. Is that okay?" I'm like, "Yes, yes, that is okay." But I don't want you to put yourself through that. I don't stay away from drugs. Um, he's he watches me diet, and he's just like, "You look miserable. You don't look like you're having a good time, mom, at all." Because then he'll offer me something on accident. Like, you want a bite? I'm like, I can't have a bite. I'm sorry. He's like, stupid sport. But he and I are very different. It's kind of funny. Like I was like a stud in high school. I played sports or did, as a swimmer. I was a competitive swimmer and a competitive cheerleader. Um, and my little whiz kid. He's my little dork. I love it. Absolutely love it. He has an IQ of 120, incredibly intelligent. Um, and he's into the computer side of life, which I told him, I was like, you're fucked once you get into algebra, 'cause I can't help you.
My
Once
mama could help me either. I took
once
algebra
the
twice in high school.
alphabet once the alphabet entered the system, I was out. Like, well, just that is not me. But his dad, which is not my husband, but his dad's
His
incredibly
dad,
intelligent too.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, his dad's incredibly intelligent too. So that's where he got it from. It's his
yeah.
daddy.
Well, you get like it. He has his father's brains, but his mother's beauty. That's
There
what.
we go.
There you go. There you go.
But we are going through puberty right now, so we aren't that
Oh
cute.
yeah,
We
yeah.
stink.
Hey, I know that. It was a long time ago when I was that age. Your body's changing. You're noticing girls. Other things are starting to grow. What's that? Whoa, wait a minute. And some things you can't talk to your mom about. And I think it's a good thing that he has his dad, and your husband there, because sometimes there's some things. My mother, she was like you. She was a single woman, and even though my parents were together for 55 years, married technically,
Wow.
but he was in New Jersey, while we still live here in North Carolina. And she had to raise us, me, my brothers and sisters, even my nieces and nephews. And she was a strong one, my mother. And that's why when she got sick, I stuck up because I ain't had no kids. I had nobody, just me. And she
Yeah.
was my, and I said this, she was my woman. And I had to take care of my woman. And when she passed, it kind of left a hole. I was already doing this stuff, but I wasn't just doing it just to keep my mind settled. So you have something to do because taking care of her business and taking care of her was a lot. She was going through a lot. She had seizures. She had a stroke. She was going through early stages of dementia. It was a lot on me. And then I ate food because of the comfort. I was almost like 500 pounds after she passed away. And then
Okay.
I'm right now. I went to my doctor's office. I'm right. I did drop a little weight, but then I got issues right now with my knees. Knees like Stone Cold Steve Austin. Arthritis is happening. But I'm right now safety at like nice 420. I was almost, like I said again, I was at least almost two cupcakes away from being 500. But
Well,
doing this content,
congrats.
yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. But doing this content, I get to learn about the struggles of some of you ladies. I've talked to ladies who tell me that what they've been through in their lives before in the past. Some have to do issues of family. Some do with issues of dealing with abuse of food. Also, just some who just like were young and used to love playing sports, and then life happens, so they need something as an outlet.
Oh, for sure. And then I think I would even venture to say that as far as the women within the bodybuilding industry, competitors, I would want to see that. Yeah, I'd venture to say they probably receive more backlash from their families than male bodybuilders do, just because of the drastic changes that do happen. And, if these families know nothing of the sport, their brains go off in a million different directions. I mean, my family called me a lab rat when I was in when I first got into it. They're like, you're just your hot boy, because when Trent was just my boyfriend at the time, you're just your boyfriend's lab rat. He doesn't even know what he's putting in you. I'm like, that's so rude. That's not how this works, But because I was refusing dinners, I was in prep. I was like, I can't eat that. And like, well, one bite won't hurt you. You're right. It will not mess with my physique, but it will mess with me mentally, knowing that I took a bite when I shouldn't have, and like that kind of pressure is not support and love. Well, it's just not understanding and refusing to understand. So I mean, I get it. It's it's crazy. It's crazy, and I would venture to say that women would probably receive more backlash from their families than men. Not saying men don't. I'm 100% sure they do. I know they do. My husband has. Um, but it might be a little bit more.
Hmm. I think one
Just a
thing,
little bit harder. This
yeah,
taboo.
but yeah, because you're taking your body and you taking it and building it a different way where it's a typical idea of a woman, like you say with your earlier picture, where some people say we're accept what you were before because you were at least you at least look like a female. But
Yeah.
then there's that people who just don't understand that this is something for you. And I've had conversations with ladies tell me like how the mother says, "Oh, sweetheart, I don't want you to be lonely and not find a man because you're looking so manly," or the dad might say, "Darling, I love you, you're my baby, but I already got a boy. I don't want to need another boy." It's just about this is about you, not them. But there's been quite a few family members saying, "You know what? A dad would go to his daughter's show, be like, whoo hoo, holler, and say, that's my girl up there." But then you have a
That's
guy
my
sitting there,
daddy.
yeah,
That's my daddy. My
and
daddy
then
loves this sport.
and
It's
you
my
have guys,
grandparents that didn't get it.
yeah, and you had a guy sitting there that says, "That's your girl? Yeah, she looks good. Hey, that's my, hey, come on, guys." Because there's also that flip side. Because I said again, my crime is so much for smoke, and I know the guys who look at women like y'all. When they see the muscle, it's something different. It
Mhm.
excites them. It's something. It's not typical of what you see of a woman be. These muscles. Like when y'all on this, like for one thing, when y'all ladies on the stage, you're presenting yourself, your body's your physique, but people don't understand what took you to get there. Dehydration, angry, tired, pushing yourself to the limit. And then you have to doll yourself up, get a tan on, get your makeup on, get your shoes on, and you look like these goddesses walking across the stage, all golden and shiny, but don't realize what it took you to get there.
I think it took my dad watching, like he fully paid attention to one of my preps and he was like, oh, okay. I see that. I see what you're doing. And, like my mom's vain as all get out. So she's just like, that's my daughter. I made that. Look at her.
Hey, you didn't make that. You incubated. It wasn't for daddy. There wouldn't be no baby. So here, shout out to my man K for hanging in there. Shai says, You should be do modeling. Have you
Oh,
ever
thank
thought about doing some? Because there is, like I said, there's a lot of, as you know, said again, there's a lot of sites that do dedicate to women. Like one guy I heard interview, I know him, I interviewed him a while back. I know him pretty well. A guy named Sean Nelson. If you ever heard of him, he does a lot of different. Yeah,
Yes.
he does
I know
a lot
exactly
of
who that is.
he does a lot of photography with a lot of ladies. I think he's someone, especially you. So I'm not a big fan of tattoos, but I think he would like your look and your style. There's also Annie Revicchio. She does Muscle Angels. I met her a couple of times. What it shows. I think there's a niche for it, and we talked about how it can be like anything in this world can be sexualized, even y'all ladies with muscles. It's just again, it's a different form of the female body.
Mhm. I've done some, like more so for my husband only. Um, and I am, despite me getting on stage in a bikini and getting judged by six people, I'm modest in nature. Uh, and I have a lot of respect for him. And there's a mutual thing. Like I wouldn't want him to do that, and he wouldn't want me to do that. As far as showcasing the work to the world, there is some modeling that I've done that has been posted. That's not bad. But again, there's just a respect there that I don't like to cross lines for him, um, and they're for him, and they're not for anyone else to see. Which is, once again, which is weird to say because I'm on stage half naked getting judged by people and getting pictures taken. But that's a part of the sport versus these other things that can be sexualized like that instantly.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
but yeah, again, I'm actually very modest in nature, despite being covered in tattoos and being half naked half the time throughout the sport.
Well, that's the thing is everybody's personality is different. Some ladies are showmen; they like to perform, they like to be presentable. Today is a lady
Oh
who,
yeah, to each
yeah,
their own. If that's
yeah,
their power move, that's their power move, and that's where they. Yeah, I mean, especially if you're in a partnership, like that's just something that's like
be
talked about.
respectful.
Yeah, and if like your husband's like, "Fuck yeah, babe, you go do that," underwear shoot. I'm like, that is their relationship. That's how they operate. And no one operates the same. Um, it is what it is. I don't ever really think too hard about it, to be honest with you.
I wouldn't think about it. Just like I said, you and your husband have a relationship, respect each other, and do what y'all do for yourselves. Anybody else, that's their problem. So, as you said earlier, you're going to take next year off. You're going
Well,
to
I'm going to
do
compete next year. It'll be
next
just
year,
late. Yeah, it'll
just
be late.
late year, and then you're going to do try to do a national qualifier in 2027.
So now I'll do a national qualifier late next year to keep my qualification because I don't want to lose it. I don't want to do two shows back to back
Mm-hmm.
like that. So I'll do a regional show again next year just to maintain that national qualification into 2027. And then I want to be undeniable. Like I want to be 100% sure I'm about to win this show. So depending on how I've grown, what I look like, we'll probably start looking at shows in the summer for a pro qualifier. And that's like, when like junior USAs and junior Nats start and stuff like that. Me being in Alabama, it's super easy to get to those. Like in Chattanooga and Charleston. So we'll assess then. But that's kind of like I guess
The plan,
the rough draft part. Yeah.
kind
Yeah,
of the plan.
because life happens. You never know what could happen. But yeah, it's kind of like our little rough draft we have right now. Is just to maintain a qualification next year, just so I don't got to compete twice and line shows up. Yeah, because again, it's like I work, I have a job, and other facets of life too, and my husband has a job as well. So it's the planning of multiple shows in a year can be tasking. We also have two little pit bulls that we hate to board.
Oh,
So, and they're like our little angel babies. So sometimes I'm sweeter to them than my own kid.
you sh- you're sweet as some dogs and your own baby. Ah, you people. I'm like this. I grew up with dogs. I love dogs, but you know what? I wouldn't put them before my. If I had children, I wouldn't put them before my kids. My sister, she was the third oldest of my mother's children. Actually, she was the fourth oldest because I had a brother who, but anyway, we get that. But she had poodles. She loves her poodles. My mom
Awesome.
didn't. Yeah, my mom wasn't much into dogs in the house, but she let them go because they were little. I remember one time I was sick and I had pneumonia real bad. and I was like laying in the living room because sometimes I couldn't sleep in my bed. And, I just lay in the room and watching TV. And one day my sister said, "I was come out and see how you doing." I said, "I'm doing fine." And the poodle just got on my lap and laid in my chest. Said, I was stroking it. It just made me feel a lot better. But again, I'm not putting no dog over no children.
I
We
ain't
got
putting
here.
over my kid, but they're gonna be nice. I'm gonna be nicer to them sometimes.
Yeah. Shout
They
to
don't
him.
talk back.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Shout out to man Alex. He says hi, George. He says hi to Amanda too. He's a great kid. He follows my channel. We also have guests on here, so and that's a good plan. But as often as my other guy would say, I don't have a plan. I'm just a dog chasing cars. I wouldn't know do when I get one, and that's smart because you know what? Some people be like, as you know, there's a show coming up, the Rising Phoenix this weekend. It was laid out usually while back, Marika Jones. She did, this is going to be a 6th show. She did 2 shows back to back. She did Tupelo and drove all the way to Texas and did the Texas Pro within a 24-hour period. And then the expense of being a competitor. Because again, for the guys, all the guys got to wear is a pair of banana hammocks and board shorts.
That costs 50 damn dollars. And our
60 the
suits are
most.
at most, and we're over
Yeah.
here going to fork out 600 for a half decent looking suit.
Sometimes a decent looking suit is going to cost you 1,000.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and
Exactly.
then as your amateur, because sometimes some competitors would double dip. You would do a one division because you want to see like, okay, you do a figure exclusively. That's what. But then you say, you know what? Let me
I
see how I
crossed
do.
over at North Americans. I did both, and that was,
Yeah,
$600 to do both.
yeah, and that's a cost right there. And again, the hair, the makeup, the shoes, the suits, the jewelry,
Nails.
nails, both fingers and toes. Those are expense, and for y'all these show days, it costs more. But then the guys also they have the cost with food because guys do eat more food compared to the women.
And men, I will say that their drug costs, especially in prep, will always supersede females. It's a lot, and that's great. It's an expense, but competing as a female does not touch what men have to pay for versus what we've got to pay for. It's a
Yeah.
lot.
Well, that's why I'm glad I'm a man. We got here a comment from a man, Alex. Shout out to Alex. Thank you, support brother. Says I was supposed to be a salute emoji. That's all right, brother. Also, he said this. I don't know why the salute emoji changed. It was saluting to Amanda because she was in the army showing respect. That he's a good kid. I understand that he's a
Sweet.
good kid. So what we were talking earlier that she's a fan is the NFL season just started.
College, not the NFL.
Not college.
College.
Oh, college. Oh. I knew a lady you used to work with. She was like this. She loved the NFL, but she didn't like college. But she loved college basketball, but didn't like the NBA.
Interesting. That is really interesting.
Yeah, it's kind of like this, like saying like I like I like peach cobbler, but I hate peaches.
Or yeah, I was gonna say I like ketchup and hate tomatoes.
Yeah, that's something I don't like tomatoes that much. So who you rooting for? Who's your team?
So I'm an Auburn fan at heart. Grew up an Auburn fan. Like my dad bought a cheerleader uniform when I was an infant. I was an Auburn fan through and through. But now that I've gotten older and college football is what it is now, I'm like more of an SEC fan. Because I will always root for Texas football. I love Texas football. There's just something about it I love. My granddaddy went to Vandy. I have his old suitcases. So I mean, I'll always pull for Vandy. I'll always pull for Vandy. I'll always pull for Texas. I cannot pull for Alabama. I try so hard for my husband. I can't do it. And I will try like externally, but in the back of my mind, when something goes wrong, I'm like, oh no. Oh gosh. They fumbled. Oh no.
Oh no, the quarterback got sacked. Oh no.
Oh no, babe, I'm
Oh
so
no. Oh
sorry.
no, no. No, I'm not, baby. What's that quarterback? But yeah.
I just love football. There's a nostalgia for me behind it. Like now that we're in season, 11 a.m. ESPN goes on. So I just like to hear it. I like to hear College Game Day. I have some dear family friends that their whole family went to Notre Dame. So I just like have an inclination to pull for the Fighting Irish as well. But Auburn, if any of these teams are playing Auburn, they suck. We hate them. Auburn's bad. I think I've only pull for them.
One thing always thing got me was how come the Notre Dame is in the ACC when you're in a landlocked state? ACC is Carolina, Duke, even Boston College, but you're in a landlocked. It's called the
Clemson.
Atlantic Coast Conference. How are you in the Atlantic Coast Conference when you're Indiana, which is a landlocked state? I never
The
get that.
SEC, I mean, or not they just need to get adopted by somebody because I love them, but they're not that good. They just don't have a schedule, so they get they get ranked way up here, and I feel like they get exposed all the time. Oh no, I went away.
Oh
Um,
no, she's back.
sorry, but I mean, yeah, Notre Dame's not that good. I love them, but they're not that good. They just have a really weird schedule because like they're where they are and who they play. But now just I didn't really because I'm a huge UFC fan. I gotta show you this. This is my favorite.
Go ahead, go ahead.
And my little collectible. My little Patty the Batty.
Oh, Patty, put me.
I love him. Um, but because I've been like, over the past couple of years become such a big fan of that, now it's like, okay, well, what's the card this weekend? But who's playing? Are we gonna have to switch back and forth? Or is football so bad this weekend where it's just strictly the card? And I'm okay with that. So just
Well,
been one of those things.
well, I do content also on women in mixed martial arts. I've interviewed some ladies in MMA, bare knuckle boxing.
Ooh.
I mean, I remember one of my I got to interview uh, Lupe Gutierrez a while back, right after she won the title in LFA.
Mm.
I'm a fan of it. I mean, used to be a John Bones fan, not as much like I used to be. Conor McGregor, he's just.
And well,
I
see, and
like.
I hate that I didn't get to participate in the John Jones era because, like, I think he's such a piece of shit. But my husband, he's like, he is a piece of shit. But if you had gotten to see his reign, it's hard not to respect the reign of what he did. And
Yeah.
I wish I had been watching back then, like, or even like when the Chael Sonnen era. And I had just started kind of watching it when McGregor was at his prime. Because I think McGregor's a piece of shit, but like I never got to, I wasn't like in depth when he was fighting, which I wish I would have, because I think there would be a respect there,
Yeah.
but I just can't. I don't know. They're just ridiculous right now.
I call him Fawcett Lucky Charms. He gets in trouble. I'm surprised he ain't got in jail yet. That's why he can be measuring delicious. People like yeah, I like Rampage. I remember when they were doing
I love him.
Tough one year. Too bad with the situation with his son, but that's his problem. I mean, you're doing Tough. Him and Sugar Sean were talking. He said, and Shane called him and said, "Rampage, you're all day sucker." And Rampage says, "All day sucker, all day sucker. Why don't you let me then?" That shit was wild.
I love Sugar Sean O'Malley. He's one of my favorites.
I'm more of a fan of Sugar Shane Evans, than I am of Malley. I like Aljo. I'm a fan of a couple of guys in there, but I mostly focus with other women, like people like Valentina Shevchenko. She is just a great fighter. Her skill set. This is my theory. I told you this one time. This is my theory about her. We know about her mother and her sister, but we don't know who her father is. And I think I know who her father is. Want to know who it is?
Is it Putin?
No, it's Ivan Drago from Rocky 3, Rocky 4. That's her father. It's Ivan Drago. I must break you. So that's just a thing.
What a thought.
Yeah, if that was a real character, you can think about that. Because he was Russian, and he met the mother, and then he was, but it's amazing women. I know she's gonna fight Wale Zhang. I think she's gonna beat.
I love Whaley. That's gonna be such a hard one for me.
It was kind of disappointing that they stripped her title. It wouldn't make sense for her because I don't know how long she's gonna fight in 125.
Do you agree with the stripping of the title to get and like taking away the whole double champ status?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't make sense because think about it. If you got to think about it, I think she does better 115, and then you have somebody like Rose in 125. It could match him up again, and I don't think that'd be a good thing to get a butt kicked by Rose for a third time.
We saw Rose in Atlanta.
Ooh, wow. Thug Rose. It
was Usman's comeback fight. We got to go. I was 8 weeks out, but I said, fuck it, I'm gonna starve. This is too cool.
Yeah, I mean, I know. I think she should have beaten Carla Esparza, but I think Carla just been in her head for so long. After she had first fight they
Mhm.
had, she beat her. I mean, Rose, she's kind of when she's on, but sometimes,
When she's off, and
yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah,
off, and she acts like she's never been in a fight before.
yeah.
And you're
You
like,
don't
what am I
mean
watching?
nothing to me. You don't mean nothing to me. This fight, this belt, this title. I like a personality, but some fighters I'm not too fans of. Some fighters I like. Growing up, I was more of a boxing fan. I grew up with the tail end Ali area. I grew up with guys like,
Okay.
the Mike Tyson, the Spinks brothers, Sugar Ray Leonard, Ray Boober Mancini. When MMA came to the scene, a friend of mine got me onto it. I said, oh, man, I don't like this. And then I used to watch commentators and these boxers. Like one guy I used to watch, you know, God, his name. I remember he got knocked out in his last fight. He said that white boy knocked me out. He said this. He called MMA gay sex. He called it BBJ Brazilian blowjob.
My boss calls MMA or calls Brazilian Jiu Jitsu pajama wrestling.
It's tough.
It's
It's tough.
hard.
I mean, I
I
don't
couldn't
know
do it. I know
if
I
I
couldn't.
maybe I was a younger man, I probably would try to do it. But I'm too old, too broken. I got a bad shoulder here, bad shoulder there. I got a pacemaker. I got two bad knees. That Stone Cold Steve Austin. I've been working since I was 10 years old, and I did
Oof.
work that most grown men wouldn't want to do. And my family was sharecroppers, and I did a little bit of that when I was younger. Maybe if I could say if I was your boy's age, that's something I wouldn't mind doing. But now time is marching on. I have to really focus
Mhm.
on better health. So, as a bodybuilder, what do you see in the sport that really would need to make it, I would say, better for competitors, men and women?
A black and white judging, like a standard for these divisions. A black and white standard for these divisions because I'm just noticing and what I'm seeing winning here, 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 here. They all look different. Everyone looks different, and it's. I just I I wish there was more of a standard they would all follow versus like I don't know. I'm trying to find the words for it, but if there was like almost like a bullet point system, like a point system that they nailed it. One, two, three, four, five. But it's just like even just watching shows. That sometimes it feels like it's just whatever the judges are feeling that day. And I've seen girls with this shape win this show, but then this shape win this show, but someone that won this show was last call outs in the other show. And it's just I feel like especially in bikini, like I don't know how those girls do it, nor do I know how coaches coach bikini because the look so different. They all look so different, or they all look the exact same, and it's just I don't know how they pick. But it's just what are the judges looking for? Because I've seen some soft girls win, like soft bikini girls win, and then I've seen some just peeled bikini girls take the show. So it's like, what are y'all looking for? Like, what's the standard? So what in my opinion, I think like you should get the first place winners of the O in every division, have their photo next in front of you, and look at the competitors. Which one matches the standard, and that's your winner. Which one is the standard that was picked to be the best in the world in women's physique, women's bodybuilding, men's classic, men's open, women's bikini? Who's that? Look at the standard. Look who placed first and is the best in the world. Now let's find this girl, either amateur or pro qualifier level or pro level. Which one looks most like her? Which one fits that and push her forward? Because that's obviously the standard we're going for, the best in the world. They just be picking all these randoms sometimes, and you're just like, what is that?
Well, I know I was watching this one competitor. She's from Austria, and she competed at Pittsburgh. She was top five, and Sharonik was there. Sharonik was in top three because that was the year that was Natalia was one, and Rachel was second, and Sharonika was uh, third, and her name's Baguette. She was fourth, and Anna Prince was fifth. This woman, looks more like women's bodybuilding physique. But now because she got Olympic qualification, she probably will never go up to that division. And the thing is, it's the judges because the judge told you he wants you to be more full or more size. The
Mhm.
judges have a lot of control. If you're awarding the women who look more like the particular division, like women's bodybuilding a long time ago, where there were a few shows for them, got kicked out of Arnold, got kicked out of Olympia. Now they have resurged in the last few years, and you've seen some women evolving to that level. Like, I think one reason why that the physique just started changing because a lot of women who were coming from women's bodybuilding going to physique, and it changed the
Mhm.
aspects of the division. I said earlier, you've seen figure competitors who look like she do women's physique. You've seen bikini girls who do figure. I interviewed a young lady. She turned pro at nationals, and I said she looks like she does. She won a bikini, but her abs are more detailed. Her shoulders are more round. I know one lady I interviewed a while back. She's an amateur. She does powerlifting, and she still does bikini. And you could do figure if you want to. Just you fit the criteria of that division.
Mhm.
But because I don't know, they keep rewarding these competitors instead of okay, if you come in here and look like a female bodybuilder, you're not going to be the top 10 or the top 5. You're going to be next to last. That should force you to move up. If you come in as a figure competitor, like same thing, that should force you to say, you know what, I'm not doing well in this division. So I either do two things: pull back on my training and try to drop some of its muscle, or just realize I have to go up. As your body is different, like women, that's why they keep making different divisions because women have different body types. Men, we have this certain type, you know. That's why that's only like 4 divisions, and and
Mhm.
212 is just all it is just smaller male bodybuilders.
And that like 212 is going to phase out. But what I think, another thing that I think would help, or I wish I would see change,
What?
is like double champs or double pros. Like if she goes pro in this division, don't let her go pro in another one. Move the competitors up. It's okay, I guess, twice, but like at North Americans, if you go back and watch and go look, there was a girl that went pro like 4 times, 4 or 5 times, which is crazy.
Not somebody that I interviewed a lady. Her name is Stephanie Herrera. She did North Americans last year. She got 3 pro cards. She
See,
got
that's
two.
crazy to me. I feel like once you get one,
Yeah, two in
we're done.
figure, two in figure for 2 different classes in figure and one in physique. And even also, this is also one thing I talk about is when you have this weekend, uh, Andrea Shaw is going to be the Rising Phoenix. She's in the world. She does that show because hey, it's the Rising Phoenix, and that show. I got to always shout out to the guy who promotes women's bodybuilding. My man Jake Wood. Yo Jake. I want that money. I want that gun. I can't help myself. I do that every time I see him. I actually saw him when I was at Savannah a couple of years ago. You can talk to him. If I ever get to see him face to face, I'm going to do it. I say, yo Jake, because I'm crazy. I know that, but you see somebody coming in like you feel like the Taya Cuejo or Jessica Ray Padilla or a couple of ladies who already got the Olympic qualification, then bump it down to you can keep the prize money, but the qualifications goes to the first runner up. But they won't do that because it feel like it's a consolation prize.
Yeah.
But you know, it makes more sense. And I know some ladies say it's about competition, yeah. But then if you work hard and train, and then you see somebody who's been a Miss Olympia in the past, who's been the top 3 in the Olympia, come in, it can be a bit discouraging because this sport can be mentally, physically, emotionally, and again financially draining for anybody
Well,
that
and
comes
it's
in.
it's confusing when you also see these women go pro in 2 divisions. So what's the look? Because she went pro in figure and wellness and physique, and these are all different looks. So what's the look for each category? And that's what I'm saying. So it confuses a bunch of girls. Well, now what do I go for? Like, what look do I go for? Because she just went pro in all these in 3 divisions that are all very different. So I truly believe like once you go pro, like once that card is in your hand, you're not going to get a second one. Why would you get a second? Why do you need a second move all the placings up from prejudging or something. I don't know. I just think it's absolutely wild, like hearing the words double, triple, quadruple pro. Because and it's also confusing to,
Well,
to
it's
the
the thing.
look that women are trying to obtain.
The thing is, it's a money thing for its promoters. That's
Oh,
why they
I
do
know.
yeah, that's why they do crossovers. That's why Fit Model's not doing crossover. If you cut out the crossovers, kind of like
So is
tell,
that
hey,
is that true? Like once a fit model goes pro and fit model, she can't.
well, as
That's
when
what
you
I heard.
compete as amateur, they probably can when you hit the pro. But as an amateur, you can't do crossovers.
Okay.
But once you go pro, because I know a lady I interviewed a while back, I met her in Tampa. She's planning on, doing fit model. She actually does, and then she goes pro. She'll take the time off and then try to get the size for bikini. You
Okay.
know, I know a lady who also I interviewed a while back. She's making her debut at Rise of Phoenix. She won her pro card in women's bodybuilding and she won the overall and went by because there were only 5 competitors at the show, and she stepped in, and she also won her won the pro card in women's physique. Um, that's sometimes you make that choice. You might do a division because this might be a division that gets you that opportunity. The
Mhm.
same lady, another lady I interviewed, she got a pro card at Nationals about a couple years ago in physique, but she competed in women's bodybuilding because in women's bodybuilding they don't give you 2 pro cards in that class. Each
Yeah.
class in women's bodybuilding you only get 1 pro card in the class, but in the other division like physique, wellness, figure, bikini, the first top 2 would get pro cards, and she was second in her class to get a pro card. And then she decided that she wasn't going to do physique. She wanted to do women's bodybuilding. It's up to you as a competitor. You say, hey, this is just something to get you a jumping board. And you feel
Mhm.
like, you know what, let me take the time off and maybe grow a little size and work on my conditioning and bring in my details and stuff like that. Like when you're training, what's that body part you feel like you need to work on the most and the one that says like, this is my shit?
Glutes is what I need to work on the most because I'm very quad dominant. Um, this is my shit would be my quads. I'm like literally front, like opposite ends here. 'Cause I learned how to squat quads, and I mean, I just that is what we are targeting for the next year is like that and just overall thickness and just getting bigger everywhere. But my glutes have to come up, and I mean, and one of these reasons being is because I was obese at one point in my life. Um, and there is loose skin there. I got to fill it out, and I need to fill it out with pure muscle. So that's, I mean, I know that's a huge focus of ours going into this off season for sure. And they have to get bigger. I mean, I don't have a choice.
Yeah, that's the thing is,
I can get them shredded, and they'll be feathering all day. But there's like, and I know you're not really judged much on loose skin, but there is still that like, I mean, you can see it. And I'm sure they would ideally like it all to be filled out and big and everything be tight in there. So, I mean, that's one of my biggest things that I
yeah.
know I want to do for sure.
I know a lot of ladies who got into bodybuilding, especially after they lost a lot of weight, because you're gonna always like. I can tell you one thing. That's number one. Because if I lose a lot of weight, I have this thing to look around, and the surgery is expensive. They tell you
It
it's
is.
it's
It
it's
is.
a
I mean,
it's
I have loose skin on my stomach too.
and plus you
It's
had a
not bad,
baby.
but
Yeah, stretch
mhm.
marks also like a lot of ladies who do. I know ladies who have great. Uh, Everything looks great, but then they always have the issue because if they had children, depending how many they had, or if they had like maybe you had one child but it was really big. How big was your boy when he was born? What was his weight?
9 pounds.
I'm beating by 2 pounds. I was 11.
He was big, and I was 40. I was almost 42 weeks when I had him.
Ooh, well,
I was large. And I've also done some research. Sometimes stretch marks can be like hereditary. Because I know a lot of women who were just like out to here, pregnant, and then have the baby and no marks at all whatsoever. And then I got tiger stripes for days with my boy, for days. So, but
tiger,
they're
tiger by the
better.
yeah. Tiger by the tail. We have a comment. Shout out to my man Alex. He's sticking in there. He says, Amanda, how is your chiropractor business been? So that's what you do. Also, you work for a chiropractor, right?
Yes, I'm a chiropractic assistant. I am not a chiropractor myself. But he's the chiropractor and also a functional medicine doctor. So it's really cool. I get all my supplements there. But it's great. I love it. Absolutely love it. I get free adjustments all the time. Keep
That's
my
good.
body lined up. And it's just me and the doctor. So it's a family practice. I am the only employee. It's just
Ooh.
me. It's just me.
And
Um,
you can set your hours too.
but I mean, he is in full support of my bodybuilding career, and he just had to deal with me for a really long prep too. But yeah, he lets me eat whenever I want. I can vape in the office when no one's in there. Um, if I need time off, I get time off. Like I have unlimited PTO.
Has he ever thought about sponsoring you for a bodybuilding show?
I think him giving me my health supplements to keep me okay is his form of a sponsorship, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Because he does like muscle testing. There's this machine called the Heart Sound Recorder that listens to the rhythm in the heart, and it can pick up like on mineral deficiencies and stuff. So like he'll do that with me routinely, and then he'll write me this whole like he'll give me this whole like supplement regimen as far as you know B complex vitamins, liver health, kidney health, lipids, digestive enzymes, and everything to like medicinal herbs and like controlling the adrenals and all that stuff. So like, he makes sure I'm always stocked and good, and that stuff's expensive. Like these are like $50 to $60 a bottle. Easy, like easy money, just like that. I mean, we don't have a bottle that's less than 40. So I get them all for free. So
That's
that's
good.
kind of like his little sponsorship because he doesn't provide healthcare
Oh,
because he thinks, big pharma. He's like anti big pharma, which I don't blame him. I get it, whatever. But I get great health insurance through my husband's company. So we're fine. But
that's
so he's like, I'm gonna keep you healthy. I'm gonna make sure you never have to go to the doctor. I'm like, all right, Dr. Bob, lay it on.
well.
You know?
Well, this afternoon I went to my doctor, and I got to be careful because I have an issue with my pacemaker. I go to my cardiologist every 2 times a year. I go to my regular doctor at least every 3 months. You know, I understand some people are their fears about it, but it's good because there's some things that we may not know about the human body. It's a mysterious machine. There's so
Oh,
many
it's
things.
wild.
Yeah, it's so many things it's capable of, like giving birth, surviving trauma. I mean, it's just one of the God's greatest gifts to us as humans. But it's good to make sure you get taken care of. It's good to make
Oh,
sure,
I have a doctor, trust me.
yeah, it's good,
She is great.
especially for a woman, because you need
I
you need
need
your
one.
you need a lady doctor. So,
Mhm.
yeah, and
Yeah,
sometimes
she's
not.
great.
Yeah, it's good. So when you're training, like I said, what's that favorite training that you love to do, especially your husband puts out your plan, and what's that one that says, "Baby, I don't want to do this shit."
I don't want to do this shit. Arms and shoulder arms. Fucking hate training arms. It's because it's so boring. And and I'm done so fast. Just, all right, I'm done. But as far as like what I love, it's like the love hate with legs. Like, I'll say if you love legs, you're not training hard enough. But I love the post feeling after legs, like the sense of an accomplishment after legs. I fucking hate it when it's happening and when I'm doing it. It's not fun, but it's like the aftermath of like I just did that, and that was like the hardest thing ever because it is challenging. I mean, to properly train your legs, and my husband's a form Nazi for sure. He wants it executed perfectly, which has benefited me tenfold. And I think it's a true privilege to be able to be trained by him because he just brings out a different kind of animal in you that you didn't know you had. You can't replicate it. I have tried to replicate that feeling and intensity by myself. Impossible. Ask anyone who's ever trained with him. It's impossible. So when you have that, especially on a day as challenging as legs, it's a whole different feeling after the fact. You're like, that was the shit. And if you're in the off season, I deserve a Reese's after that. Like, I deserve this. Like, I just look what I just did. But yeah, so that's. I mean, I love it. Again, it's a love hate with legs. You're like, here we because I almost get nervous to train legs, which I think is a good thing. Because I hope this bar goes up. Let's
That's
go.
that's the thing. Legs is the almost everybody hates legs. Also, some have loved doing legs. I call anybody who say you love doing legs, you are a masochist. You are a sick freak. You're a
Well, that's what
mutant.
I'll say. Like, you're not training them hard enough. If you're just like, yeah, I get to go train legs today, you're not training hard enough
It's the
because
pain.
it should hurt so damn bad You should. That's why I love the aftermath of it. Like
Yeah.
the after feeling of like that sense of pride and like I did that shit and I finished it all the way through.
Yeah. Sometimes you feel
Yes.
like it's that. I remember this episode of the Chappelle Show with Charlie Murphy talking about how Rick James came to Eddie's house and he messed his couch and he beat his legs, and you see Dave Chappelle crawling out like say, "Rub my legs, Eddie Murphy." That's how somebody is feel. So like it's like they're getting beat up by Charlie Murphy and Eddie Murphy in their legs. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's the process. It's about you want to work on your strengths as much as your weaknesses. Arms, even though it's not as important for you in figure, you still have to bring that condition. You want that nice
Yeah, I mean
look to it.
shoulders too. It gets
Shoulders.
like shoulders are annoying because they're so tiny. And there's only like a couple movements you can do. So it's like you're you're done really quick. And I don't know. I mean, again, it's fun. Like a shoulder pump's fun. Like that's always cool to see. And like the imagery, like the image of it, you get to take some cool photos. But like as far as like I like to be challenged in the gym, and the most challenging body part to train is your legs, in my opinion. I mean, anyone can train shoulders. So that's why it's just, I guess, quote, boring. Do I execute it with intensity as much as I can? Absolutely. But it's like, I
Yeah.
did shoulders today. I'm okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
He survived it,
did
He said, I
it.
did it. Like Rocky Balboa. I did it.
I did
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. But one thing I offer ask you ladies is being a big man like myself. Hey, as you mentioned again, you are a foodie. Share with me, Amanda. Where is that thing that made you stranger but make you stronger? That thing that you desire, especially right after the show.
Like, what did I eat? Oh, I ate a half a chocolate cake. My birthday's in June and my husband's is in July. So we missed both of our birthdays. And this prep in particular, and actually all of them, I've never been like, I gotta have Chick-fil-A or I gotta have, like I never crave it. You can eat it in front of me, you can eat a pizza burger, fast food in front of me, and it never phases me. It's sweets. All right. And I wanted a chocolate cake for my birthday. Obviously I didn't get it. And then like my brain hyper fixed on a chocolate cake. I was like, that's all I want. That's all I could think about. I was like, this is literally all I could think about. And I just started, I was like, you know what? As soon as I step off stage, I want to walk up to the hotel room, sit on the floor, and just palm it. Like, I just want to palm a cake. And I did. I did it. I cut a quarter and just ate it.
It's like that movie Matilda. You're like that boy Bruce. He's eating the cake. Come on, Bruce.
I wanted to recreate that, and I did. And then we walked a mile and a half to dinner. Yeah, I walked it off.
Like I said, everybody has their favorite, especially you have a good cheat meal. Typical or burger and fries, something like pizza. A lot of ladies like sweets. I have heard a couple ladies say they love sushi. Ma'am, I'm
Sushi is not a cheat meal, and I cannot, it is, but I can't get behind it being a cheat meal. It's more like a refeed, you know? 'Cause it's not like, I have a hard time feeling like I'm cheating with sushi unless it's like a platter for four. Without, or now we're fucking up. That's a lot. Um, but more so feels like a refeed to me. But a lot of people don't know sushi is very parasitic and
mhm.
awful for the gut. So like be careful eating it. I love it. But as far as like doing it in a prep when our immune system is like in the gutter, stay away
Well,
because they will mess up.
recently I had some ladies who competed at the Masters Olympia in Japan. They told me the best sushi is in Japan because they're really clean. They
Oh,
really
for
know. Yeah,
sure.
yeah,
That's
they
real
know.
food over
You,
there.
yeah, you don't want that sushi from the gas station from
Mm.
Bucky or something like that. That's not real
Okay,
food.
for example, my because my husband coaches like, as a side gig or as a passion project. We had one of our competitors go to Europe and she was worried about like the bread and stuff like that. I was like, no, you can like eat that bread because that's like it's real versus American bread, which isn't. And she ended up losing weight and she was eating all day. And she was eating pasta, drinking their wine, eating Italian food, like real Italian food, not processed American Italian food. Looked great. She looked absolutely great. Nothing changed. So like, yeah, Japanese sushi, I'm sure is so good for you. There's no way it's not. There's no way it's not.
Yeah, one lady told me she was eating ice cream, and because she has issues with her gut,
Mm.
her ice cream was so good, she went and got another thing ice cream because it was something about it because it was so clean. And that's the thing is, that's the part about a bodybuilder, you have to eat clean. You have to have. You just can't eat everything and anything. And you got to think about it. You got a teenager at home, and I know he's not gonna eat mommy and daddy's uh
Sir, he has a snack box. He has a snack shelf that I gotta look at every day, especially when I'm in prep. And he loves Pop Tarts. I love Pop Tarts.
who doesn't?
So yeah, he does. So yeah, I mean, I'm so desensitized to his snack box at this point. But no, it does. It's one of those things. Like, but I'm one of those weird girl or female body, or I don't even think it's a female thing. I think it's just a bodybuilding thing. I like to bake and cook when I'm on prep for other people. Have you heard that before?
Yes, I know, lady. She also competed at the. Her name is Christine Ware. She's an IB Pro bodybuilder. She competed also at the Master Championships last month. She told me that when because she has her husband and her daughter, and she told me that she'll cook cakes and cookies and make them eat them in front of her. And I said, Christine, you're a sick woman.
That is sick. I don't make anyone eat anything in front of me, but I enjoy preparing food for them. Because like I can't have it, so like you get to have it. I will vicariously live through you. Like I made my husband one year. I was on prep. I was getting ready to go do USA's, and for his birthday, I made him like these giant Oreo cupcakes with Oreo frosting in prep. Didn't lick the spoon or anything. But I mean, I enjoy doing it. It didn't even bother me. I'll go get them fast. Like I've gone to get the boys fast food before in prep, and my whole car smelled like Chick-fil-A. So,
I, I I
that's
know
one of
what
the things.
I know when I got there, it was like about lunchtime when I left the doctor's office, and there's this place down the road from it, and it's a Chinese buffet place. And I went and I got some. It was, I don't get to eat it too often. I try not to eat it too often, but I'm a Chinese loving whore. It just tastes so good. You eat it
I
good.
love me some sesame chicken. I
I,
love takeout.
chicken broccoli and little I love the like my favorites also. But I remember my mom used to do this. She used to sometimes go over. There used to be a place where they did the chicken wings, and my mom cooked chicken pretty good, but they were just totally
Something
different.
about it.
Yeah, totally about it. Here we got my man. Shout out to my man Alex. He said this. Who doesn't like chocolate? Who doesn't? I mean, unless you got an
Is it
allergy to it, or you just not like chocolate. So, folks, we're not going to hold Amanda too much longer here. We do appreciate time and opportunity to talk to these ladies and share their stories. If you want to follow again, her link's description is live. And also, people, you got to understand she's an NPC competitor. It's an expense to compete. If you're someone out there interested in sponsoring her, sponsorship does help. It covers the cost of travel, cost of entry fees, the cost of suits, the cost of this and that, everything involved with from tanning to hair to makeup. If you're someone who has an interest in sponsoring these athletes and helping them out in their process, reach out with genuine interest. But I don't want to hear this guy say, "Hey there, Amanda. Yeah, yeah, cute little thing. You like playing football. How you like to play it? Shirts and skins." No, you sick freak.
out of
Yes.
here.
Yo. This is like you do this says Miss Ridlehoover. If I got any right, so I want to apologize, ma'am. We have a company and we are interested in helping athletes achieve their goals. So if you are interested in being part of our company and being an ambassador, if it's something that helps in your process, it's something that you can use, if it's something you feel like can help you evolve as a bodybuilder, as an athlete, we are happy to help you. But we have to understand that this is a give and take relationship. And if this works out for both of us, I think we can guarantee you a great future. So let us know if there's something that you work with. If you like the plan and it's something that you feel like you are sure about with us, then let us know. We're happy to help
Absolutely.
you. Yeah. So we have here, this is from Chris. He says he's hearts and the Brazilian flags and kisses. So he must not speak English. Thank you, brother. So folks, like I said again, we do appreciate the time she give us here to talk with her. Share her story. We wish her best of luck. Like I said, folks, I've often said this is a tough sport. This is not a sport for every. If you don't have the discipline, the patience, the consistency, the drive to do this sport, don't do it. I remember back in the day, bodybuilding used to be on television, but now you can see, pillow fighting and cornhole now. You know, yeah. Actually, this is true.
I was like,
Yeah,
pillow fighting. I'll never forget when I saw pillow fighting. I was like, this is real. That's okay.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah. I mean, it's crazy. I've actually one time somebody sent me this. They do like equestrian, but not with real horses. They do little hobby horses with the little heads.
It's real. And like
Yeah,
ESPN, the Ocho. Like,
I mean, what the heck? Like that movie, Dodgeball. Dodgeball. I would because you do get to move around, you play with balls, whatever. But the other ones like cornhole and that and pillow fighting.
axe throwing.
Well, that's been very popular because that's the lumberjack stuff. They do the action, they do the sawing, they do the climbing, the thing. That's a little bit more active, I would say. But because you go by popularity, because bodybuilding gets this finger pointing it because you use performance enhancers, y'all big muscly freaks. But then you look at other sports, like we know, MMA fighters who get busted for taking steroids and PEDs. Same thing with football players, same thing with any
Mm-hmm.
athlete, boxers, fighters, professional wrestlers, even though that's not
Well,
the sport.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, in the like the BJJ world, they all run gear, every single one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're not the UFC. It's like Matt, what's that? Ryan Gordon, that BJ. All right, so then Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, they all run it. They are all enhanced, every single one of them. I don't know. They show it on like TV though. It's always on YouTube.
Yeah, I know. Like I said, there was one lady, Raquel Pennington. She got busted at least 2 or 3 times. They kept her
Did she
finger.
really?
Yeah,
I
I
didn't know
think.
that.
Yeah, I think she's finally retired. I think she's doing something else now. She might be doing bare knuckle, maybe just coming around. She was one of the first group of ladies that started the UFC in the
I know who Raquel is.
yeah, in the yeah, and because that's the reason why bodybuilding gets because. But again, like I've been told, George, they tell me if they don't follow the diet, they don't be persistent, they don't be consistent, and they don't be disciplined, you're not going to build the muscle at that level.
It's
You
impossible.
you can take the shit all you want, but if you don't follow those guidelines, stick to the diet, work out, and train, you're just going to be just a big blob full of gear.
Yeah. Like you can match Chris Bumstead's cycle and you're not gonna look like him. Doesn't mean you're gonna look like him. If you don't put in any kind of work, it's not magic.
Yeah, I remember I saw Derek Lundford when I was in Tampa. I didn't know that dude that's short. And look at him. Guys like him, and also Samson, Big Ramy, Heidi. A lot of the guys, Nick Walker. Look at those guys. They still have to work out and train. It's not
Yeah.
as easy. Like Ronnie Coleman said, I guess everybody want to be a bodybuilder, but no one let his heavy ass weight.
No one wants to lift heavy ass weight or diet.
Yeah.
No one wants to hear that either.
So, what would you want out for bodybuilding for yourself towards your future?
I mean, obviously the ultimate goal is to win and go pro. Check that off my list. I will always bodybuild, whether it's competitive or not. It's such an ingrained lifestyle. It saved my life. I used to be a heavy drinker, heavy drug user, like not the cool kinds that make you look cool, the ones that make you look ugly. Um, and so for what I want, like what I want out of bodybuilding is I just want it to stay. I'm going to keep it around forever. Again, I'm always going to train like one because I have a huge sense of pride in my training. Maybe not always eat like one because I love food so much when I'm not competing. Um, but no, the ultimate goal would be to like, because I truly believe I belong in the pro leagues. I believe that my work or my effort could put me there. Um, and I would love to do a debut and compete there and see where I fall. But it's just going to be something that's a part of me forever, and I'm always just going to keep it. So that's what I'm going to always have with it. Just again because it's structure. Human beings need structure, whether they want to admit it or not. We need it, and to have something where you don't got to think, like especially with food, like a meal plan. You just all right. This is what I'm eating every single day, and you can like doctor it and customize it, make it taste a little different. Um, it just makes life easy to where you can do your other things you enjoy and not stress about that. I love it. I love the lifestyle. It's kept me on a path that I don't go out and party. I don't drink myself to sleep. I don't do drugs. Um, And it's just like it's such a there's such a clarity there, especially when you're dieting hard. Um, and like the mental focus you achieve, the discipline you achieve, like the self-confidence you achieve. It's a not a lot of people are confident in themselves, truly confident. And when you can achieve that and have that and walk around knowing like I'm a bad motherfucker, that's powerful, and that's something like the sport can give that to you, and you can take it with you and put that into your life, your work life, your marriage, and always have that kind of discipline and effort into all these different facets. I mean, you're going to be unstoppable, or you're going to have a happy life. I mean, like you're going to go with emotions all the time, which is great. So yeah, no, it's a game changer, competitive or not.
Hmm. Like you want to prove yourself about who you are as a person, as an athlete, how you evolve, how you grow. You know, so the risk is more than the reward in some cases. But if you're willing to push those limits
If
and
you're
see how,
and if you're smart about it, and you have
yes,
a coach that gives a fuck about your health, you can come out of this sport and still bodybuild and still be healthy. You just gotta do it right. You gotta actually give a shit. You gotta actually take the time to get healthy. And I feel like a lot of people are very impatient and they won't take that time to reverse damage because you can, or they won't take the time to realign their gut health, and they won't take the time to maybe fix their thyroid if something happens. Because of the we as humans, like instant gratification, especially now that social media is a thing. We think that that's obtainable immediately, especially all these younger bodybuilders. They think they can obtain that in a year with these looks, these pro looks. Like all these girls that competed once, I'm on the road to pro. Well, what do you mean? You just started. Like, there's time, but I just, yeah, I can go on a fucking tangent.
yeah, I think I know what he's
Oh,
talking about.
bad.
A lot of these up body, up and coming young bodybuilders, they want everything hot and fresh, hot and ready. It's not gonna work that. Too many. I've had my man Jerome would say like, too many of them are wet behind the ears and breath smell like Similac. That's my man Jerome, the international player from the Himalayas. And if you don't have that patience, you don't want to take that time. Nothing's gonna happen like that. It
And nothing
takes
in life
work.
happens like that.
No,
Nothing in life.
it takes work. And if you're willing to work and put that time in, you get it. But if you want something quick, you're gonna get burned out. You're gonna get burned out real soon.
Yeah, and then you'll hate bodybuilding. It'll become a chore. Body dysmorphia will hit. You'll take a turn for the worse. You'll either get really, really, really fat and unhealthy, or you'll get really, really, really skinny and sad looking. And it's just, if you just get your fundamentals and take the time to nail those down and have the space and be good at it and get that, like, perfect that, and then just like keep going, it's gonna be great. Your life's gonna change no matter what, in a good way. If you like, just take the time to do it.
Hmm.
'Cause it's a lifestyle. I mean, I just don't see myself ever coming out of it, like stage or no stage.
Hmm. Well, yeah, this is a lifestyle. So, folks, instead again, I do appreciate time that Amanda gave to us for her interview. Wish her best of luck on that. You have anybody want to shout out before we let you go?
Of course, my hubby. He's the reason I'm here.
Yeah. So you forget somebody else?
You're the best. And my son.
No,
I mean,
not
my
me. What's the worry about me?
my son's the best. He's not watching this.
Uh,
But no, definitely, definitely. Like my husband's my best friend. I could lose everyone else, and if he's all I had, I'd be fine. Wouldn't bother me none. So
well,
yeah.
Well, speaking of son, our mothers is our, a boy's best friend is his mother. We can have girlfriends, wives, but I tell you this: if you lose your mother, you lose somebody very special. That's the first true woman you ever loved in your life. And I don't know anybody. I've heard guys say they never had a relationship with their mother. I don't know how I always had one with mine. Maybe my father and I didn't have much of a relationship, but before he passed, as men, we came together. We made our amends. He's my father. I miss him. And I had people like my older brother, my uncles, anybody I grew up around with. Really, I learned a lot from them, and I do appreciate that. I do appreciate why you get to talk to you ladies and hear your stories. Maybe I think this is why I say I wish more people educate themselves about what's involved being a bodybuilder, what's involved to be a woman in the sport, and understand. Don't be this guy who's like saying, "Hey, she's big pump muscly chick. Why you want to be a man?" Or be the other guy say, "Well, she got big pump muscles. I want to be your man." But just have common sense and realize these are people. But yeah, sometimes I've dealt with some women who act like B-I-T-I-T-I. But you know what?
There's mean girls everywhere. There's mean
Yeah, it
girls in
is. It
every
is.
industry.
Yeah, but it's with people like yourself who are fundamentally a decent person who also gets serve our country, who is passionate about the sport. I wish and hope the best for you. We had here from my man Alex. Shout out to Alex before we let him go. He says, "Take
Oh, thank
care and
you.
keep up the good work, Amanda." Thank you, Alex. So, folks, I shout my guests out here. My man Alex there, my brother KL the Wanderer. Shout out to Chris to come through. Anybody who watched this video, comment, subscribe, support the men and women of bodybuilding. Reach out with genuine interest. Guys, I keep saying you, these people do need support, sponsorship. If you're someone who have a business and you see a particular person that you feel like they need to advance more, and you have the means and ways to do it, it doesn't hurt to help. But at the same time, guys, I tell you this: you get more with a silk glove than with an iron fist. I know what you're doing with that iron fist. So, ma'am, I'd like to thank you again and wish you all the best of luck.
Thank you. Really appreciate it. It was fun.
Well, I'm glad you had fun, and I'm glad we had. But again, of course, want this for my great hero, the Dark Knight himself. When you say thank you, you never have to. That's why I do this. You know.
No, I just greatly appreciate it.
You're welcome. So, folks, check out tomorrow. I'm gonna do a live about the upcoming Rise in Phoenix. You want to check it out? You want to give me commentary? I appreciate it. If you want to support Amanda in the upcoming future as a bodybuilder, reach out in genuine interest. Be nice. Her husband doesn't want no shit. She don't want it either. Be respectful. Support is good, but don't be that guy.
Please don't.
Yeah. Anyway, folks, you man, my way to pitch, aka the Emperor of Female Body Talk. Like, don't like, subscribe. I am out. Good afternoon, good night, good luck, and have a great weekend.